Morning, everyone. LightningESL.com. What are your salary expectations? What are your salary or needs for money? What kind of salary or money situation do you need for your new job? Interesting kind of question, isn't it? Everybody's different when it comes to money. When I'm talking about things like this, I'm talking about expenses, rent, food, entertainment, paying for your insurance for your car, all kinds of things. So when you're approaching a new job, you have to have in your mind ahead of time a certain range. I need this type of salary to survive. I need this type of salary to survive. Or this type of salary, whatever. Everybody's different. But it's a hard question to answer sometimes. When you're applying for any kind of a job or position or career, you have to say to yourself, okay, what's out there right now? What type of salary or type of means of money are that companies going to pay you in your industry? Any idea? Otherwise, you're walking in. If you have no idea about your salary expectations, guess what? The company will pay you exactly the lowest possible denominator, which in this case is minimum wage. Yeah. The key is to understand your value to that company. What value do you bring to that company? Did you just come off the street? Did you just come off high school? No background, no experience of anything? And hoping for a miracle of 100,000 plus a year? You have to say to yourself like this, or going from one country to another. Years ago, I worked in personnel, helping people get jobs. And they have a preconceived idea of what type of salary expectations do they expect here in Canada. Other countries might be more, it might be less. Again, it's based on standard of living, what you need to survive. Yeah, survive doesn't just mean food and shelter. What else? You have to live. You have to experience life. You need time for entertainment, sports, movies, whatever. So when I say the expression, what are your salary expectations, it means a lot of things. It does. You have to say to yourself, it doesn't matter what industry it is, computers, agricultural, education, construction, whatever. You have to know what kind of value you bring. It's not just a question of a piece of paper saying, I got a graduate degree in this, graduate degree in that. That's right. Do you have any work experience using that knowledge you attained from post-secondary education? And sometimes you'll notice employers will hire people with no post-secondary experience. That's right. They're willing to train you from scratch, like a management trainee program. For example, McDonald's came here 30-something years ago. Yeah, I remember when they came to Canada. They're looking for management trainees to mold people right out of high school into McDonald's type of people. Yeah, every company is different. It says this. Doesn't matter if it's large, doesn't matter if it's small. You have to know in advance what are your needs, not just desires, what you need to survive in this society. What is it? I've seen people come across into our city, into our country, expected high expectations. They expected high levels of salary with absolutely no background working in this country. Hence the expression Canadian experience. In other words, how do you get a Canadian experience unless you work in Canada or American experience or whatever? Now, I know it might seem like a bad way of thinking of things, but it's true. As long as you have value inside of you to offer that company, it doesn't matter where you're from. No, it doesn't matter this, doesn't matter that. Of course, you have to have basic English language skills. I understand that. But you have to have the personality and drive and desire to help that company. And how do you help that company? You have to have that passion of a certain subject or career expertise in something. Just to walk and say, I want $1 million a year salary. They're going to look at you, there's the door, have a nice day. They're going to laugh at you. You'll feel embarrassed, anxious, and so on. Why don't they hire me? I don't understand. I have so much to offer. Well, that's nice. But to them, you have nothing to offer. You didn't prove to them. Not just your resume. You have to prove them during your resume, number one, and your interview, number two. It's a combined effort. So when they ask you, what are your salary expectations, you have to be realistic in your mind. How far is it to that location? Do you have to drive, take bus, take Uber? Use your finger for hitching a ride? What do? All right? Distance, time and distance to get to work and back. Add on the weather situations. Can you control this for the weather? The cost of using Uber, the cost of using a taxi, and so on. There's an expense. You have to pay rent, or you own your own house. There's food, entertainment, and so on, like I mentioned earlier. You have to know what you need to survive and go beyond survival, enjoying life. So, if you're coming from minimum age background, minimum age when it comes to just coming out of high school with no experience, that's fine. You have to do the grunt work. You have to do this, you have to do that. You might feel like you're being abandoned in the sense like they're taking advantage of me like a slave labor in a sense. Remember, they don't know you. They don't know what kind of value you're bringing to that company. You have to prove your value. Now, I've seen people making $100,000 a year, much more than that, because they have value inside of them and experience to bring to the table to help that company survive. If you have nothing, but you're driving passion, you need to find somebody, which is difficult, who will take you on as your mentor to learn the ropes of this, learn the ropes of that. I never said it's easy, but there are companies out there who will do that. It's like an apprenticeship. That's right, for the plumbing or electrical, whatever it is. You have to work so many hours plus exams, but actual field work experience in the field doing this and this. That's how you learn. I learned in the food service business as a technician, step by step by step. Service technician, Ontario service manager, then I was a national service manager, and so on. You're bringing a lot of experience and background to the table to help that company thrive. So always think about all these factors involved for salary expectations. In my background, for example, I approached the position for a national service manager, and they asked me the exact same question: what are your salary expectations? And I said to myself, well, I've gone the 2 levels below that as technician and Ontario service manager. I want to be national now. The company included a company car, expense account, and so on. So right there is value right there. Not always money in your hand, but it's value added to your position. Always remember that. They're adding value to you because they know you're a good investment in you. So think about things like that. A lot of factors involved when they say the words and expression, what are your salary expectations? So be prepared. Don't walk in there totally blank. I don't know. You'll look like an idiot. They'll say, there's the door. Have a nice day. All right? This is lightningesl.com. Thank you very much for your time. For further inquiries, you can always reach me at lightning@rogers.com. Thank you again. Bye-bye.